Hi everybody, welcome to our project that we are making. I still haven't decided what it's going to be called. Hopefully by the time it's done I will have. You will have seen it by now, but it's meant to hold recipes and be given as a gift. So of course you could put whatever you like in it, just photos would be pretty in it as well. So let's go ahead and get started with our base. You need a piece 6 by 7.5. You want to put the 6-inch side along the top, and you want to score at 1/2 inch, at 5 1/2 inches, and then rotate 90 degrees and score at 1/2 inch again. Okay, just like that. And then we want to go ahead and trim our corners. This is Artisan Card Stock in navy. Again, I'm sorry, I once again ended up with a dark color. I really intended to use a different cardstock this time, but nothing else I picked looked as nice with the paper as this navy. Okay, so I'm just going to trim out our corners. All right. And then we are going to fold and burnish. You want to fold with a little bump to the inside, like that. And like that. I noticed this week when I was working on something that I can't remember what, I've actually worn a groove in my Teflon bone folder. However, it still works fine. So I just really want to burnish that well. Make sure it's nice and flat. Okay. All right. So what we want to do is, because this is going to form a pocket, we want to cut a little half circle here. And I'm going to use my punch. You can use whatever method you like. And as you can see, I've already done one. I'm just eyeballing the center here. Okay, just like that. Okay. It's actually going to go like that. Okay, then this piece is going to go on top. It is 5 by 7, and it just glues right on top, and we're going to form our base pocket. Okay. I'm going to grab, let me see, just grabbing a piece of white cardstock to make it, see, I've got a little, okay, I just had a little bit sticking out there, it didn't look nice. That's better. Okay, and we're just going to glue this down. Okay, or use tape. I say glue, but of course you can use tape if you prefer. Right? And we're going to put the glue on here. Now, if you want to make a very large and hefty book, you could leave off this end piece here, make a regular pocket page that you would put into a binding and insert into a book, and make several of these and insert them into a book. It will be quite chunky, but it would be fun. It would also take an awful lot of paper, but again, you could do it. Okay, so now let me just tuck those down a little bit. All right, so I'm just going to do one corner to start. That looks pretty good. I'm not sure I got it 100% straight. Okay, there we go. Burnish. Now it looks like one piece is just a tiny bit longer than the other, so I'm just going to take that to my paper trimmer and trim that. Okay, so now we have a nice base to be working with. Okay, so the next step is going to be to attach our flaps. Okay, and the two flaps are 5.5 by 7, and that looks pretty good. Just checking them for fit. And you are going to score both of these with the 5.5 inch side along the top at a 1/2 inch. Get rid of that, we don't need that. Okay. One of these is going to be just slightly trimmed for width. I'll show you in a moment. But I just cut them originally the same size, and then we'll see. Okay, now let us turn this around. Test fit the first one, and that looks good. Let's put that one down. Good. Now this one is going to go here, and it is going to be inside the other one, and it's just going to interfere if you leave it the full width. So I'm just going to trim a little bit off, maybe 1/8 of an inch, maybe not even 1/8, maybe more like a 16th. So just test fitting, and I think it's going to be fine. Yeah. Okay, so let's put that one. Just check it for length, because we did trim a little length off of this, but it seems like it's fine. Okay, so let's put that. Okay. So now we have our finished base. So it's going to open like this and like this, right? So now let's do, let me see. I think we should do this down here. Okay, so what we need are the two side flaps. And again, we may do a little trimming on these, but they're 7.5 by 4 7/8. Okay, 7.5 by 4 7/8. Just checking. Yep, that's good. All right, and you're going to put the long side along the top of your scoreboard and score at 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. And I wanted to ask you all, those of you who are from countries using the metric system, which I think is everybody but us here in the United States, what is on your, like, how is your scoreboard marked? Is it marked in centimeters and millimeters? I was just wondering, because I would like to be able to give you metric measurements if possible, if that makes your lives easier. However, I mean, it's easy enough for me to do it for all the pieces. As you can see, my board is marked in centimeters, my ruler has centimeters, it's not a problem. But I wasn't sure where to tell you to score. It seems like about a centimeter would be the closest or easiest measurement for these tabs. Just let me know in the comments down below, and I will see what I can do about giving you metric measurements going forward in my cutting guides. Okay, and then we're just going to burnish that. Okay, and again I'm folding and burnishing. Okay, so now we're going to bring this back over and we're going to attach these one on each side. And I'm looking, and this one's just a little bit long, so let me just trim a hair off. I think I trimmed that one just a little bit too much, so we may make that one the right hand one. Let's see how this one is. And I do need to trim a little bit off of this, but not so much. Okay, so that's good. Pulling that up because I feel like I don't have it quite right along the edge. Where's my ruler? Let's see if I can. I still feel like that's just not quite where it needs to be. Okay, there we go. There's that one. Then this one is going to go here and just cut a little bit off of the length if you need to, so that this one closes easily over it. Okay. And there is that. Okay, so now we have that and that. And now we're going to make, well, you know what, before we do that, let's, looking for, I think I might not have cut that piece. Hang on, am I missing a piece? I did not cut the flap for the top, and I was thinking it would be easy to put that in now, but you know what, we'll go on to the next and we'll get back to that. Oh, actually, you know what, I do have it, I think. Okay, here it is. Okay, so this piece is the upper flap, and it is, I don't know if I have the measurement, 5.5 by 7. Right? Yeah, 5.5 by 7. All right, turn that so it's looks good. You can see the actual construction of this really does not take very long. So, be able to knock out quite a few of these. And I'm not going to be able to demonstrate mine with the recipes in it because my printer is not working at the moment, which is very irritating. Okay. And so for this you need the pocket flap base that is 8 by 4.5. And then you need the fold flap pocket, which is 4.5 by 7.5, and the pocket flap lining, which is 7 by 4. Okay, so let's start with the base. And grab my scoreboard. And this is going to be scored in the same way that you would score a pocket. Let me go ahead and put the pin back in my glue. So what we're going to do here is we're going to attach this to these two side tabs. We're going to leave the bottom free, but that's going to leave the bottom open. So I'm just going to run a tiny bead of glue just along here to close the bottom. You could use a gusset if you want more volume than you would get by doing it this way, but I think I'm going to have enough space to put things that I'm not really concerned about it. So what I'm going to do is just put one side down first. Just like that. All right. And then I'm going to do the other side. And a little bit along the bottom, just a little bit. Okay. Just like that. Okay, looks good. Okay, there. And now we have this assembly, which is going to go here in our book, or our booklet, or whatever this thing is, just like that. Okay, and I am not going to put it right up against this fold. I'm just going to put it, let me open this so you can really see it. I'm just going to put it just the tiniest hair up from that fold, maybe a 32nd of an inch. Okay. Excuse me, I'm going to pick it up just to make sure that I have it where I want it. Excuse my head if it's in the shot. I think that's pretty good right there. Okay, so now we have our entire front assembly done, and at least the main base part. Okay, so that's, you can see it's quite hefty. Okay, and you're going to do what you should do is go ahead and burnish it. It's going to be a little rounded here. That's fine. That's when I made the prototype, that's how it was, so that's what I'm expecting to see. Okay, so just burnish everything really, really well. Just go through. Okay, and then this piece goes up first, this piece goes down, and then you're going to, now, so this is the top, this is the bottom. You're going to just turn it over. Okay, it's important that you know that. Okay, so this goes up, turn it this way. So this is the bottom, because we're going to put a pocket. Put a pocket right here, and you are going to measure that. I have it here, 8 by 3.5, and then you're going to cut a flap that is 7 by 3.5. The pocket you are going to score at 1/2 inch. I feel like that was not quite right. There we go. And hope you can see. And 1/2 inch. And you know what? Before I score that last, I'm going to do a dry fit. I feel like it needs to be, well, 1/2 inch looks right. I just feel like my measurements have all been just slightly off. Part of it is the my paper trimmer. Okay. All right, and then the flap, you're just going to score one long edge at 1/2. Oop. Okay. And we're going to trim. And then the flap. And trim. Okay. Now, let's do a dry fit. Let's confirm. This is the bottom. And it's just a hair wide. Okay. So I'm just going to score, give myself like about a 1/16 of an inch. Oops, that looks more like an 1/8. There we go. Okay, and let's dry fit that again. Much better. Okay, put that down. I'm thinking for a minute. Hang on. It's not that we're not going to glue it down. We are going to glue it down, but let me think for a minute. I want to have a tie on the front of this with these beautiful ribbons that I have. The seam binding. And I'm thinking that I might want to tuck these underneath this the pocket and the flap on the back. If I knew exactly what paper I was going to use on the front, then I would do it that way, but I don't know, so I'm not going to. Okay, so I just wanted to be sure about that before I did this. Okay. And I have to decide too if I want to put any magnets on the inside. Okay. And we are going to put this right down at the bottom. Okay. Okay, so there's our pocket, and then we're just going to put the flap at the top. Let's check that for fit. And that looks pretty good. Turning that a little, try to get better light. We may round the corners on this flap, but they're fine for now. Okay. Bit of a mess there. There we go. Okay. So we almost certainly will use a magnet of some kind on that, but maybe not. We may just go with the tie. All right. Let me put the pin in my glue. All right, so there is our entire base. It goes up, and then it goes up again. It goes down, flips out to the side. We have our pockets. We may add a few other little things. We'll see. And then on the back, whoops, what did I do? Did I fold it wrong? Oh, forgot to put this one in. Up, up, and then on the back we have a pocket. So there is tons of room for recipe cards, or whatever you decide, photographs, whatever you're going to use this thing for. I really like it. Okay, so I'm going to stop here, and we will come back the next time, and we will decorate it with our beautiful Bo Bunny Boulevard collection. So I will see you then. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do so. And if you have, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This is, by the way, I don't think I mentioned it at the beginning, a design team project for Country Craft Creations. This is Artisan Card Stock in blue from Country Craft Creations. We've got this beautiful seam binding and the Bo Bunny Boulevard collection, which I don't have. Yes, I do. Here it is. I was going to say I don't have it within reach, but I do. This is it. It is gorgeous. And we will be decorating our little recipe packet in the next video. So thanks again for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.